There we go. Oops. This is like the bloopers version. You know, it's either too hot or not hot enough. This is pretty good. Let's see how spicy it is. It's perfect. It worked. Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Vegan Boomer Babe. My name is Sherry, and I am here to share a great recipe with you today. We are going to be doing jalapeno poppers, and along with the jalapeno poppers, I'm going to be doing some shishito peppers. And along with that, I'm going to be doing a Chipotle dip. So, just wanted to share these with you because it's football season and it's really great to have some nice, quick, snacky recipes for your guests or for just you and the family. So I wanted to start off with this recipe for my jalapeno poppers. This is a recipe I've made for years before I went vegan. So, you know, it's never too late to go vegan. You can change over the recipes that you used to use and make them vegan. So what I have here, I have some jalapenos and I have some Beyond Meat sweet Italian sausage. Now this is hard to find, but I did happen to find some at my local fresh market. And typically I have no problem finding the hot Italian sausage, but the sweet Italian sausage is not so easy to come by. So I have my pan warm here, really warm, and maybe it's a little too, maybe it's a little too warm. I'm going to just you know, it's either too hot or not hot enough. This is pretty good. I'm going to set it over here for a second. And then I'll put it back on there once I break up the sausage. So, you know, I have my regular stove is back here, and I have my little hot plate up here. And my other stove works way better than the hot plate. But it's hard for you to see if I'm back at my stove. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just break up this sweet Italian sausage in my frying pan. And I've already prepared my jalapeno peppers. What I did with them was I washed them, I cut them in half, and then I took the seeds out of them. I did that wearing a mask and rubber gloves. Every time I work with peppers, jalapeno peppers, I really need to take cover because they make me sneeze, they make me cough. I don't know if it does it to everyone. But it does it to me. So I did this ahead of time so you didn't have to watch me gagging while I cut them up. Okay, I think my pan is kind of coming down to a regular temperature now. So I'm going to put it back on my stove here. There we go. Oops. This is like the bloopers version. Okay. We have it on the stove now, and I'm going to just stir this around and get this browned. So what I'm going to add to this, I will show you these are my rubber gloves that I use whenever I am doing peppers. I put these in a special spot so that I only use these for peppers. And my face mask. You know, I never had an official face mask until the pandemic, and now we have face masks everywhere. So it comes in handy for peppers. So I'm going to kind of break this up a bit, and I want it in small crumbles. So I have it in chunks, but as it cooks I'm going to make it smaller and smaller because what I want to do is I want to stuff these peppers with this mixture. So I'm going to let this cook for just a second. What I'm going to add to this is, I'm not going to add anything to the pan, but when it's finished cooking, I'm going to add some Parmesan cheese and some room temperature cream cheese. I have Miyokos here, and a little bit of cilantro. So super easy recipe. Again, I made this non-vegan. I would use regular pork sausage and regular cream cheese and regular Parmesan cheese. But again, you really can veganize just about any recipe. So anything that you loved before going vegan, or if you are thinking about going vegan, you really don't have to miss out on anything. So this is breaking up nicely, and I'm just going to let this cook for a second. Okay, this is just about done now. You can see that I've broken it up into pretty small pieces because remember, I want to fit that inside that jalapeno pepper. So I am going to remove this from the heat. I need a new hot plate because my other one's burnt in the sink. Okay, I'm going to set this here, and I'm going to push this back just a little bit. So here's what we have. All of our ground, this is 4 links of Beyond Meat sausage. If you can't find the sweet, the hot is fine, or you could even use Beyond Meat breakfast sausage. Because remember, we're going to be putting this into jalapenos. So if you don't want it too spicy, then you might want to avoid the hot Italian and maybe go with a breakfast sausage instead. So I'm going to, I did have a paper towel in the bottom of the bowl just to absorb anything, any of the extra grease. Try and make them a little healthy if we can. So next I'm going to add 8 ounces of cream cheese. And this is room temperature cream cheese. So it's been sitting out for a couple of hours. We want it to make sure that it's easy to work with, to mix it in. So make sure it's room temperature. I'm going to just kind of stir this in here. And so I have 4 links of sausage, an 8-ounce package of cream cheese, and I do have some Violife Parmesan cheese. I like to grate it with my cheese grater, so I have just about 1 cup right here. I'm going to add the 1 cup of cheese and just kind of give this a stir and just try to blend this in because we're going to spoon this into each one of the jalapenos. So I probably have about 1.5 dozen jalapenos. I have a little bit of cilantro. I think I'm going to add a little bit to that as well. So it depends on how much cheese you put into each popper. So, I mean, this will fill quite a few of the poppers. So just mix this up real well. Okay, so this is really looking nicely mixed here. So we have the sausage and cheeses and a little bit of cilantro. So because I have this thing with jalapenos, I'm going to put my gloves on. So, you know, with jalapeno peppers, if you get that oil on your skin, you might forget about it and touch your eyes or anywhere else, and it could be painful. So, so what I'm going to do, I'm taking one of the, what I did to get all of my peppers ready, I washed the peppers, cut them in half, and took the seeds out with a spoon. So that makes just a nice, clean little, little sausage and cheese holder. So I'm just going to press some in here. And again, my gloves are clean. I only use these for cooking. So I have one, And I have a parchment paper lined baking tray. So I'm just gonna get a spoonful of it. It's a lot easier to just press it in. And again, that's why I have my gloves on, because I would be getting that hot pepper juice all over me. So let me just fill these. Okay, we have just 1 or 2 more. And you can see that I left the stems on some of them. I like how the stems look. I think it looks just a little more festive. And the shishito peppers that I'm going to throw in the oven too, the shishito peppers also have stems. So it's just going to just have a nice presentation, I think, with the stems on them. Okay, here's the last one. I'm gonna just squeeze that in there. So we have our tray full of jalapenos. I'm going to pop these in the oven. I'm finished with my gloves. I'm going to pop these in the oven for about 25 minutes at 400 degrees. And my oven is already preheated, so I'm going to put them in my lower oven. I have my upper oven preheated at 425. Let me do a timer. There we go. So shishito peppers. If you have never had shishito peppers, they are really, they sell them in the supermarket. I left them in the bag so you could see. They're not uncommon in the supermarket anymore. They are kind of newer the past couple of years, and in the supermarket as a traditional item. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wash these off, and throw that here. And these are pretty simple. This is just going to be a matter of rinsing them, adding a little olive oil to them, and putting them in the oven. Now these only take 10 minutes. So I'm going to get these ready, but I'm not going to put them in the oven just yet until my poppers are almost done. I want them to be done at the same time. So I'm going to just put these onto the tray and add a little olive oil. It's just one of those days. It's one of those days where funny things happen. Okay, so my peppers, super simple. Just cover them in a little bit of oil. But what I am gonna add to them, you can just add salt to them. You can add different flavorings. I have a black truffle sea salt. And this is really flavorful on these. So if you have an opportunity to find that, I think I bought it online. So sometimes those hard to find spices, it's way better to just go online and order them. I'm gonna set these aside. And the next thing I'm going to make is our chipotle pepper sauce. This is for dipping the jalapenos in. Now you could just use ranch dressing if you like. I've done that many times, but this is one of my favorites because I love chipotle. Now chipotle peppers are, they are smoked and dried jalapenos. So they do kind of match. So my recipe does call for dried chipotles. And what I would do is I would cut the top off of the dried chipotle. I would use 2, shake the seeds out, put them into some water, boil them for maybe 10 minutes just to reconstitute them. I could not find dried chipotles anywhere. So I'm going to try this out today because I've never done this before. I'm going to use the chipotles in adobo sauce. So what I'm going to do is simply add, I don't know if you can see, here is 1 chipotle. This is a good size one. And the adobo sauce is what they are. I think, because that's a big one, I'm gonna just stick with that. Because remember, we have jalapeno poppers, which are gonna be spicy too. So I'm putting this into my NutriBullet. I have a half a cup of mayo, vegan mayo. And now if I were reconstituting the Chipotle, I would have added the water that I cooked the Chipotle into this. So since I didn't have fresh Chipotles, I shouldn't say fresh, dried. I think I might add a little bit of water. And I'm gonna add a little bit of lemon juice, or lime juice, pardon me. So we have some lime juice. I have a Chipotle in there. I'm going to add a little bit of water because I would have added water, the cooking water from the Chipotle. So we'll see how this works. If not, I have ranch dressing. So, and let's see. Looks good. This was always one of my absolute favorite sauces. You could use this on a lot of different things, but my favorite use of it is to dip poppers into it. See how spicy it is. It's perfect. It worked. Okay. So I'm going to set this aside. I have my poppers in the oven. I have my shishitos waiting to go in the oven. I have my Chipotle sauce ready, and I'm going to meet you back here in a couple of minutes when they come out of the oven. So, see you in a minute. Okay, they should be done. Let's see how they're looking. They look delicious. They smell fantastic. Ooh. I'm going to set these here. And I'm going to grab the shishitos out of the top. They are blistering nicely. Now shishitos, if you've never had shishito peppers before, they're not really spicy. They can be. Like 1 in 10 are spicy, so they're kind of like fun to eat because you never know which one you're going to get. I'm going to let these sit and firm up for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to plate them up, and I will show you how they look when they're all done. Okay, and we're back. I plated these up. I mixed the shishitos in with the jalapenos, and I did sprinkle a little bit of cilantro on top just to make it look pretty. I did sprinkle a little bit of my black truffle salt on the shishitos before I plated them. And if you've never eaten shishitos before, you dip the whole thing in, you eat the whole pepper. Delicious. You don't eat the stem, of course. So, and this was not one of the super hot ones. And of course, our jalapeno. Perfect. It is, as I mentioned, I've made this recipe many times before going vegan. These are just as delicious and just as satisfying as the non-vegan version. So I hope you'll give this a try. It's now time to go enjoy these in front of the TV with a cold beer and watch the football game for today. So remember, it's never too late to go vegan. Stop back into my kitchen sometime soon. I'll look forward to seeing you again. Have a great day.